Hey, what's going on, guys? As you can see by the title, I'm going to be doing a movie collecting history video for me. I've seen a lot of these videos and I really like them. Wet Movie 1, people like that. And, I wanted to do one. I've been doing one, wanted to do one for ages and I just kept not getting around to it. I'm finally going to be doing it. So basically, every Sunday I used to go to my uncle's house, and I do speak about my uncle quite a lot because in his house he has a spare room. Now in the spare room, it is all movies. There's like one box of Wii games, the rest is all movies. There's VHSs, there's Blu-rays, there's DVDs, I think there's even some Laserdiscs, there's everything. It's such a good place to go. I just sit in there for hours sometimes, just looking at all the editions he's got. Some of the rarest editions I've ever seen is in there. It's such a good selection. It is quite a small room, but it is amazing. All his walls are full of shelves, he's got stuff stacked up, it's amazing. So what we used to do was always just sit and watch movies when I went over. We would watch a movie, and I would start borrowing some movies, and it got to a point where I was borrowing like 8 a week, and I would watch them all by the next Sunday I went. So I was watching quite a lot, and eventually it started to be that I started buying them, like forcing my parents to buy them. Not forcing them, but every time I'd go to Morrison's or Asda or the centre, I would always ask, I'd always go in, look at the DVDs, and see if there's anything I wanted, and pretty much most of the time there was, and I'd pretty much beg them to get me it. Not beg, but like ask them, and most of the time they'd say yes. And I would get the movie and I would watch it and it'd be awesome. And yeah, so that's how it really started. I just gradually got more and more, and then I started kind of buying some, and I just loved it, watching all the special features and all that. Another story, for this collecting is when I was younger, I used to be a massive Westerns fan. Now, a lot of teenagers my age probably won't have watched a Western before, and I've watched a hell of a lot. I've pretty much watched all John Wayne's Westerns, Yul Brynner's Westerns. I've watched a lot. Now, the thing that started that off was my dad. Basically, there was a movie, and I've got the set here. I'll get it out. It's this one. There was a film called Magnificent Seven. It's got Yul Brynner, it's got Steve McQueen, Yul Brynner, Eli Walsh, and Steve McQueen. And this was on TV. Basically, what they did was they split it up into half-hour episodes, and they put it on TV every Saturday night. And basically, me and my dad would sit and watch that every Saturday night. I think it was like 4 or 5 weeks that it was on for, and I loved it. And one night we were in Tesco's, and I was having a look as usual, and I found this edition here, and we instantly bought it, and that's kind of what started the collecting of Westerns. I really liked them, and I would just, every time I went to HMV, I was looking at the Westerns, not really anything else. And now I've got like a shelf and a half full of Westerns. Some I do have on Blu-ray, yeah, but most of them are on DVD. So, Westerns was kind of the start of my collecting, or my collection. And then eventually, I think a couple months later, my uncle actually bought me the full collection. So it's got all 4 movies in it, which is Magnificent Seven, Return of Magnificent Seven, Guns of Magnificent Seven, and Magnificent Seven Ride. So it's got all 4 films in it, and I loved it. You can tell it's been used quite a lot because it's kind of got tear. You can't really see it though. But I've watched it so many times, and I loved watching the Magnificent Seven documentary on here. Where is it? It's not called anything. I don't think it's called anything, but it's like an exclusive new documentary, so it's not really talking. It's not really a title. It pretty much talked about the actor strike, getting all the actors involved in it, going on set and all that, doing it. It was great. Every time I watched this set, I watched the documentary. So that's kind of what started my Westerns. And then I was still borrowing off my uncle quite a lot, and there was a show that he said was excellent. And basically every single time I went, I borrowed a new season from him, because he got the complete set, so it was like in binder kind of thing, and he gave me like one season every week I went, and I just fell in love with the show. And it's Dad's Army, by David Croft. Yeah, no, Jim Perry. Yeah, and David Croft. So I would basically go to his house. At first, I missed out the black and white episodes, so I could get a taste of it. So basically, I started at the 4th season here, and basically every week I would flip through it and just take each season, and I would watch it by the end of that week. And then eventually, he got that set. He actually gave me, is it that one? No, I think I sold it because I had that. It was the very best of Dad's Army, and there was like all the best episodes in it. I think it was like 6 episodes, and I would watch that like a VHS. I would watch it every single, at least an episode a week. I'd watch it inside out, and the disc actually got that wrecked. I think it started jumping a bit because I was using it that much. But then also, for my birthday, a guy in my uncle got me this, the complete collection, which does have the complete series 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's got the Christmas specials and all 3 survived episodes of season 2. So I've seen every single episode of Dad's Army for at least 3 times each. So that's kind of the main thing I borrowed off of him. And then, eventually I started, I had a big collection. At the start of the year, I actually sold about 100 DVDs. So now I think I've only got about 100 to 200 DVDs. I would have had 300 if I kept them all. Also with Blu-ray now, I kind of sold some DVDs because I had the Blu-ray. Some I'm not just yet selling them. I'm waiting for the best price, on eBay. But that's kind of what started off the collection. The Western collection I've got, and then also Dad's Army. I just loved that, and I was getting a whole lot more movies. I was pretty much picking up anything that looked interesting. I wasn't really getting new releases because they were more expensive. I didn't want them to pay, like 10 quid every single week for one movie, whereas I could go and get, about 4 for like £9 or something. So that's kind of what started it off. And then I think last year, or the year before, I think it was last year, I started talking to my uncle about Blu-rays, and he had the Blu-ray player, and he showed me a film called How the West Was Won, a western, which I do actually have. It's on my DVD shelf, but he actually showed me that on Blu-ray to show me how good the quality was and stuff, and I was blown away by it instantly. And basically on the Easter sales, HMV had a player for 50 quid, and it's the same one as I've got now. It's a Philips. I don't know the specs of it. I don't know. It's a bit damaged, I think now. But it's a Philips, and I don't know what spec it is. And basically he got me a HDMI cable as well, and that was because I was, I'm only 13. I'm not got a job at the time. But now I kind of do stuff, and I get money every week for stuff now. That's how I can pay for all my stuff. But at the time, I didn't really get a lot of money. But I had stuff left over from my birthday, so I used that on the Easter sale and got the player. And he bought me the HDMI cable, and because I didn't have enough money to get an actual Blu-ray, he gave me about 3 or 4 Blu-rays. I think it was Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Sherlock Holmes, and iRobot. And I set the player up and all that, and the very first one I've watched was iRobot with Will Smith. That's my favourite Will Smith film. I have the DVD way before I actually got the player, so I'd already seen the movie. Then I watched the Blu-ray version of it, and I even loved it more. I don't actually have the Blu-ray just now. I've just never got around to buying it. But that was the very first movie I actually watched. The very first one I actually got, my uncle bought me like a week later, and it was Gladiator, the 100th anniversary collector's edition. He actually bought me this. This is the very first one I actually legitimately got for my collection. Nice slipcover. I'm sure you've all seen it, I'm just showing you just in case. You do have the extended edition and stuff on this. So this is the very first Blu-ray I actually bought, and I'll keep it forever. Don't ask what the very first DVD was, because I have no clue. I remember way back in VHS days, I would used to watch Peter Pan. What other movies used to watch? Harry Potter, the first 2 Harry Potters. I would watch them like non-stop. And any like World War II movie that was on TV, I would take that and watch it like that day or that week. And I had like masses of VHSs just full of stuff I've taped. An actual VHS I've bought. I would just sit in my mum's room watching them, and that'd be me for the day. So I kind of jumped to the VHS there, but I just realised that I didn't say that. And then eventually I got the Blu-ray, and I've continued on getting my collection where it is now. I've probably got about 100 Blu-rays. Also, Blu-rays are more expensive than DVDs, but that's where I am now, just collecting. Am I a big fan of physical media? Yes, definitely. I love getting steelbooks, digibooks, cool slipcovers and all that, and I like looking at them. It's better to look at it like this, and it's not a Blu-ray, but it's good to look at it where you get all the artwork and stuff, and actually taking the disc out, other than just going on Netflix, clicking it and actually watching it. I like having physical media. I know digital copies and that will take effect, and it will be the primary source for movies. I realise that. I just don't want that day to come soon. I really don't. I really just like physical media. So that's my movie collection history. It's not as detailed as everyone else's, I don't think. But obviously, that's a long time ago I was talking about. That's been about 4 years maybe, I don't know. So yeah, that's my collection history. I will be doing a collection video for my DVDs and Blu-rays in December, just before Christmas, because Christmas is pretty much the bulk of my collection. I think for Christmas I got about 25 Blu-rays, I think it was, and then on Boxing Day I think I got another 20, so it's like 40 Blu-rays I got within the space of 2 days. Which I'm not entirely proud of, but it happens. So I hope you enjoyed, guys, and if you want to leave a video, well, I was going to say leave a video response, but I realised you can't do that now. Whoops. But yeah, I cannot wait to see other videos. I know I've seen a lot already, but yeah, so hope you enjoyed, guys, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.